Buckle up, guys. Today we're diving into a case that sparked major debate about police overreach and citizens' rights. It all begins with Rate the Audits introducing us to Yardley Ski Auditing, a man about to face a bizarre arrest over a 100-pound commemorative coin. The tone is calm, but the tension builds quickly as we're told this story will expose how a simple transaction spiraled into an arrest no one saw coming.
What's going to happen? Okay, so you've done your bit checking on legislation, I've just checked on my legislation. As I said to you, the shop does not have to accept it just because it is legal tender. You said it's legal tender, you are correct, however it is a commemorative coin. On the internet they're worth about 20 quid.
Well,
right, so here is what is going to happen. Either you are going to pay for your fuel correctly, or you are going to fill out their civil recovery form so that you can arrange to make payment at a later date, or I'm going to arrest you for bilking.
What's bilking?
Bilking, making off without payment. You've got to the point where payment is due, you're now refusing to make payment, therefore I will treat it as a criminal offence. So how would you wish to proceed at this point?
Well, I have got means to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to fill out a civil recovery form as you
Okay,
put it.
right, so what's the means that
what
you're
was the option 2?
So option 1 is either you pay, option 2 is you fill out the form, option 3 is that you get arrested.
Well, pay.
No, you pay with legal tender that they will accept.
That is legal tender.
No, they don't have,
But if this is a £50 note and he said, oh look, we don't accept £50 notes because there's lots of forgeries.
Exactly.
Would you be doing exactly the same thing now?
Yes, so if you go into a corner shop and try and pay for a penny chew with a £50 note, they are perfectly within their rights to refuse that sale.
As the officer approaches, the atmosphere tightens. What starts as a simple misunderstanding over payment rapidly shifts into an accusation of intent to steal. The cop's tone grows sharp, his authority unquestioned in his mind, but shaky to the viewer. Each word reveals the imbalance between calm reasoning and official pressure. You can already feel this isn't about a coin anymore. It's about ego, control, and how fast things can escalate.
It's different because...
No, it's not different.
No,
you have offered a form of payment that they will not accept. The principle is exactly the same.
Well, if you arrest me, it'll be a wrongful arrest.
Yeah? It's not. It's a lawful arrest because I've explained the situation and I've explained that I believe you're doing this for
Are you a
dishonest
sergeant
reason.
or an officer?
I am a sergeant.
Right.
Okay? So, my point is also that coin is not worth the face value of it. It's not legal tender in such a way that this shop has to accept it as being valued at £100.
Okay, so it has... Hang on.
Short of the mark.
No, I'm not. So it is got a face value of £100, so it is worth £100.
It's not.
Well, you say that, but the Bank of England, the House of Commons, the state, all the institutions that came before you say it is, right? But you say it isn't, right? Now you say it's only worth whatever you say it was. Interestingly, I don't know if you've looked at the price of silver, but that's probably worth about £48 in silver. Hang on, I haven't finished yet. So that's £48 in silver.
Yeah.
Whereas, how much is a £20 note or a £50 note worth in plastic? What, a penny or two?
This is where things really heat up. The officer insists the man will make off without payment, even though he's offered to pay. The logic collapses, replaced by assumption. You can sense the frustration building on both sides, one fighting to stay civil, the other trying to maintain dominance. The audience can't look away, as what should have been a brief exchange turns into a power struggle fueled by confusion and pride.
Do you want to check to make sure it's not an unlawful arrest?
Another unit, please. This chap's about to be arrested.
Will it be unlawful arrest?
Well, it's not a wrongful arrest.
It would be a wrongful arrest. Well, how can you arrest somebody for refusing to pay when they're offering to pay with a coin of the realm?
Because you're not offering to pay with payment that they can accept, or will accept, or have to accept. No.
Now, interestingly, you said that you've done some research on this, and I've done this before.
Yeah.
Well, what was the outcome of it last time?
It was no further action.
Why was that then?
I don't know.
Well, how come you've got a record of that?
I'm about to let you drive off from here.
Well, how come you got a record that I did it last time, but you haven't got a record of the outcome?
Well, because I haven't got time to look at that right now.
But you have got time to arrest me and deal with all the paperwork that'll be involved in that.
Yep.
So that's just abusing your power, I think,
No,
because what you're trying to do is
you're proportionally. These people here are trying to run a business, and you are making life extremely difficult by being obstructive in how you're going to pay.
No, I'm not.
By now, viewers realize the arrest is inevitable. The officer's tone leaves no room for negotiation. The auditor's questions are calm but cutting, exposing cracks in the officer's reasoning. This moment captures pure tension, the feeling of being right but powerless. It's the point where respect for authority gives way to disbelief, as the badge becomes less about law and more about control.
I'm only here to enforce the law, I'm not here to decide. I just suspect that an offence has taken place, okay? So I'm not convicting you, and you're refusing, to cooperate with me any further. You're refusing to resolve this situation by giving these people your details. So therefore,
No, I don't, because what you're trying to encourage me to do is not to give them my details, but to fill out a legally binding form. You're actually encouraging me to fill out a legally binding form, right? That would be detrimental to me.
Why? Because you have to pay for your fuel just like everybody else in this petrol station?
No, because you're forcing me not to use cash. It's exactly the same as you...
No, I'm forcing you to provide the legal tender that this business is willing to accept.
But it's not for them to pick and choose.
It is, absolutely.
No, it's not.
If they will only accept payment in Pokemon cards, that is entirely up to them.
Yeah, but they need to state that on the pump. Right, when I take the fuel, they say payment only in Pokemon. I'm not trying to. What do you think? What do you think I'm trying to achieve then out of this?
So why are you not willing to offer any other sort of payment? Do you have bank cards on you?
Maybe it's a matter of principle. This is a coin of the realm. You shouldn't be threatening to arrest me because of their preference as to what type of note or coin they accept. That's ridiculous.
The arrest itself unfolds in unsettling detail. The officer moves from verbal warnings to physical restraint. You can almost feel the discomfort in the room, that uneasy realization that reason has left the scene. Viewers witness a man being punished not for wrongdoing, but for daring to challenge authority with logic. It's raw, awkward, and unforgettable, a real-time lesson in how small moments can define larger justice issues.
Your job, is it, to state what type of coin that Tesco accepts or not?
Surely, it's my job to make sure that you don't go past the point of payment without making payment.
I haven't driven off, have I? I've got every intention of paying with this coin.
No.
If I had no intention, if I was trying to do something dishonest, I'd driven off, wouldn't I? But the fact is, I've waited here for you to come and I've discussed it with you. I've tried to explain, being very civil and being rude, have I? In any way, I've got no disrespect for the police whatsoever.
No.
Might go downhill a bit if you arrest me unlawfully.
Okay.
I just think, please just check that it's a lawful arrest. I don't think it is.
I believe it is.
And the whole point of cash and legal tender is that you cannot be successfully prosecuted for non-payment if you've offered legal tender. So if I had Scottish notes, right, now they're not legal tender in the UK, they're not legal tender full stop, but Tesco's actually accept those.
Now the fallout begins. As the handcuffs click, silence fills the air. The officer stands firm, but the viewer senses doubt creeping in. Every movement feels heavier, every word harder to justify. This is the moment the audience questions what accountability really means. Is justice served when law replaces logic? Or has the system just exposed its weakest link, blind enforcement without thought?
There was an invitation to take the fuel, and I've taken the fuel, and now I've got a debt, and I'm offering to pay the debt in legal tender. Now in the store, it's different, because I haven't taken the food, have I? In fact, if I'd have eaten the food, I'd be obligated to pay for it, and then it'd be the same scenario, just the same as if you went into a restaurant and had a meal, and then you have to pay afterwards, and you offered to pay in that. Right, they can't lawfully have you prosecuted for failure to pay if you've offered a reasonable means of payment and they've refused to accept it.
Yeah, but you've refused to identify yourself to this person.
Well, I don't need to, do I?
I'm now starting to view your actions as being dishonest.
How have I been dishonest?
I suspect an offence is going to occur.
How have I been dishonest?
Because you're refusing to give your information to this gentleman so that...
But he's not entitled to my information, is he?
He is.
Okay, if I told you what my...
because you have a debt to settle up with him.
So
to go to the restaurant scenario, if you ate your meal and then said, I've forgotten my wallet, I've got no means of paying.
Oh, no means of paying.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So at that point you're not being dishonest. At the point that you refuse to identify yourself, or you put Mickey Mouse care of Disney World on a piece of paper and say, here's my details, you're then becoming dishonest.
What about if, we went to the restaurant, we had a meal, right, and then I pulled out a £50 note and they said, look, we don't accept £50 notes. They can't make a decision about refusing to accept the £50 notes when you owe them money. They can only refuse to go through with the transaction in the first place. It's only because you've had the goods and you owe a debt that they can't refuse to accept the money.
The tension eases as the scene closes, but the impact lingers. The auditor's calm persistence leaves viewers with questions that echo beyond the courtroom. Was this about protecting property or protecting pride? It's a sobering reminder of how authority can falter when unchecked. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.